Okay, so here's your choice. You can leave on your own accord, right?
Okay.
The supervisor of the building doesn't want you in here anymore. You cannot be filming in here. Okay. Or I can take you out of here. My camera's not on. I didn't take an oath to uphold the Constitution, this kind of stuff, so now he's really spun up, but he's just a wacko.
Hey everybody, Drew, Auditing Reno 911. Thank you for watching my videos. Trying to hold government accountable, and going back to what first started me on this journey, I came across my first real interaction with law enforcement as I was doing an audit in the Reno DWSS, which is the welfare department, and I came across Trooper Ty, and San Joaquin Valley Transparency picked up on that. Appreciate that. They gave me my first sets of subscribers. Thank you all for watching. Anyways, Trooper Ty and I had an interesting interaction, I think. But I got some body camera footage, so thought I'd share that. Here you go, body camera footage of Trooper Ty. And
my fellow supervisor, he seems a little bit calmer now. At first he was not, so I didn't know if you guys wanted to come in, talk to him.
Yeah, let's go talk to him.
He was at first when he talked to me, but he's a little calmer now. And he's right here in front of the green shirt.
Hello, sir.
Hello. What's your name?
My name is Drew. What's your name?
Drew. My name is Trooper Ty with the Highway Patrol.
Trooper, let me get you.
Let's go outside and talk.
Well, I'd like to stay here for a moment.
Why is that?
What was your name again?
It's Trooper Ty.
And your badge number, please.
It's 238.
Thank you, sir. And your name and badge number, please, sir.
Are you a supervisor?
I am a supervisor.
Let's go talk.
Thank you.
Stay right there.
Make sure you're am I being detained?
Right now, yes.
Okay.
Stay right there.
So I've been trying to keep him engaged and keep the camera focused on me so that he's not getting our customers. He is refusing to leave.
Okay.
He says that it is his constitutional right, and he said that he just did this at the DMV. He has intent to post this. He said that if anybody specifically said they didn't want to be included on that he would remove them. When I came out here, there were customers saying, I don't want him recording me. And he literally had the entire lobby. He had our customers' identities. He was trying to not get computer screens because I think that he knows that that is a bigger consequence, but he is insisting that this is his constitutional right. I was staying calm and engaging in, just more friendly debate about the topic and just trying to appease him while having the camera focused on me. But until you guys got here.
Okay. We'll get rid of it.
All right. I'm gonna hang out in the lobby today.
Sure. What'd you say your name was?
My name is Drew.
Do you have ID on you, Drew?
I'm not going to provide IDs unless you've got probable or reasonable suspicion.
Okay, so here's your choice. You can leave on your own accord, right?
Okay.
The supervisor of the building doesn't want you in here anymore. You cannot be filming in here.
Okay.
Or I can take you out of here.
Okay.
It's up to you.
Well, so let me get this straight. So, all right. Under the color of law, Title 18, I believe it's USC 242, 241 is conspiracy. That's the criminal violation you're making right now. Title 42 USC is at 1395. That's the civil violation you're making right now. Do you want to continue with that? I will leave at your direction.
Yes, leave.
Okay, thank you. To be clear, there was no reasonable articulable suspicion of any crime, correct?
You can't be in there filming other people's information.
What is the reasonable articulable suspicion of a crime?
I'm not going to articulate. I tell you what, if you have an issue, you can call my supervisor and talk to him.
I will.
Don't go back in the building.
No,
You understand?
it's your order. I'm not going to violate
Okay,
your order.
we're done. Let's go.
Under the law, you have an obligation to uphold my constitution.
I'm going to head that direction. Well, no,
You can walk and talk. And that's just as my first name, unless you want to arrest me for that too.
What was his first name? What was your first name again?
Oh, my name is Drew.
Nice to meet you, Drew.
I'm known to you guys.
Yes.
I'm not trying to be a dick to you.
Okay, well, you're absolutely being a dick, right? Because the supervisor in there has asked you to leave multiple times. You're disrupting, you're upsetting the people that are in there for the reasons that this building is here. and you're in there just to cause a scene. So we're not going to cause a scene anymore. That's the end of it.
I'm in there to gather information.
You're not in there to gather information.
I'm not.
You're in there to cause a commotion.
So under the First Amendment, freedom of the press.
Are you a member of the press?
Absolutely. You are too.
Who do you work for?
You. Wow. So let me ask you some questions here.
I'm not going to answer any more of your questions.
Well, no, the questions
Don't go back into the building.
Nothing to do with that. But under the law, you're a member of the press. I'm a member of the press. Anybody publishing
What are you publishing?
whether by print,
What are you publishing?
obviously a video.
You're in there filming other people, collecting their information. That's not public information.
Well, you just said something. Collecting information. What information did I collect? You just levied
I don't know.
You levied an accusation. So if you didn't see me collect any information,
The supervisor relayed that to me, so
Well,
I'm acting
well-
on her information.
okay, so that's hearsay.
Okay,
I'm
whatever, man.
Remember,
Don't go back into the building. How about that?
You're documenting with your camera. Are your cameras on, by the way?
No, they're not.
Would you please turn them on?
No.
So is it your policy to turn the cameras on?
Do you know what my policy is?
Is the Highway Patrol, DPS, Nevada State Police policy to have your cameras on during an interaction?
It doesn't matter to you.
What's the policy?
I don't know. I'm not going to tell you.
I'm going to go look.
Go look. Right now, go look.
So why would you not follow your own policy and document?
Why
this?
does it matter to you? You're documenting. I don't need to document it. You're documenting
Because
it.
the more documentation there is, the safer everybody is.
Okay, well, you've got your documentation. I'm sure it's uploaded in the cloud, so nobody's going to delete it. So there you go. You're safe.
Is that how you think? That's scary.
Okay.
Drew, are you going to be returning inside the building?
Am I going to be returning inside?
Are you going to go inside for any reason?
I think I'm going to exercise my Fifth Amendment, not answer your question.
Thank you. So we're going to leave now. If you go back in, we'll get called back, and you'll be probably put under arrest for trespassing. Because you've been asked to leave by the supervisor.
So here's what I would recommend you guys do. You should probably call a supervisor for this then. Yeah, why don't you call the supervisor? Let's talk to him.
Why don't you call him?
So you're refusing to call us. You're refusing to call a supervisor. You threaten me with arrest if I go back inside the building. Again, what is your reasonable, articulable suspicion of a crime? What NRS?
I don't know. We'll call it
NAC,
we'll call it disturbing the peace.
Okay.
Yep.
So have you looked at the court cases that have come up with disturbing the peace when people have been exercising their constitutional
No,
rights?
because I don't care.
So you don't care about the Constitution? How about Fordyce versus Seattle? Have you seen that?
No.
That case in the courts?
You're obviously way more in tune with case law and legal stuff than I am. Okay, I'm here to keep you out of that building because you are causing an issue
But
in
see,
that building.
You're breaking the law, though. That's the problem.
Okay, then call my supervisor.
I will. I'm going to
Call
post
him.
this. Your problem anyway.
Right now, call him.
I'm not.
You've
gonna
got a phone right there.
I'm
Call
not
him.
calling him right now. I'm recording right now.
Okay, then.
But yes, I will file.
You're literally wasting everybody's time, man. How does it feel to be that guy?
How does it feel to be the guy that's worried about some guy with a camera?
You're
You're worried about some guy
I'm
with
not
a
worried
camera.
about it. You can film me all you want. They're worried about it. They don't want you filming them.
They're
The
worried about it.
supervisors have asked you to leave the building, and you're refusing to do so.
In a public space, you can't do this.
Okay. Call.
It's a criminal act. You're violating the Constitution. You're violating my rights.
Okay.
You're
So
violating
what about
my rights.
their rights?
Well,
What about their rights to privacy?
Okay. What has the court said?
I don't know. You tell me. You're the lawyer.
I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a lawyer. I just read a lot of law.
Let me ask you a question.
So what has the court said
What
about
do you?
the right to
What's your
privacy?
goal? What's your goal to go in here and film everybody?
My goal is to highlight the state of Nevada and the incompetency of their law enforcement.
Okay, so your entire goal was to come down here to cause a scene so that we would show up.
No, it's beyond that. It's much further beyond that.
Okay, so what's the goal then?
To change the problem and change the system to fix it.
How are you going to do that?
By documenting it, by showing people when people violate the constitutional rights of the citizens of this country, by law enforcement that took an oath to uphold. Did you take an oath to uphold the Constitution?
I don't remember.
You don't remember?
No, it was a long
This is going
time
to play
ago.
back great on video.
Hey,
So
Drew.
did you take an oath?
Drew, would you like to talk to the supervisor
No,
really quick?
just one moment. Did you take an oath to uphold
Drew,
the
would you
Constitution?
like to talk to the
Did
supervisor?
you take an oath to uphold the
Would
Constitution?
you like to talk to the supervisor?
I'll talk to her when you answer my question.
I'll talk to you when you answer my question.
I'm going to talk to her momentarily. Did you take an oath to uphold the
I'll talk to you
Constitution?
momentarily once you answer my question.
I just did. I'll talk to her in a minute.
Can I just answer your question?
What's up, man? Thanks for coming out here.
Absolutely.
So, this is Drew. He doesn't want to tell us any other information about him. He was inside filming. The supervisors have asked him to leave the building multiple times. He doesn't want to. I told him he's going to get out or we're going to take him out. So now he's going on about constitutional rights.
Yeah, and also you made me
Hey man,
uncomfortable.
we'll talk to you later. And this, that, and the other. I'll be honest, like, this is not what I do, man. So,
No worries.
you know, like,
If he's refusing to leave, then if they want to press charges for trespass, we can handle it that way.
okay. He's just a weird guy. I've been funning back and forth with him. My camera's not on. I didn't take an oath to uphold the Constitution, this kind of stuff, so now he's really spun up, but
Gotcha.
he's just a wacko. Or you can talk to her.
Yeah, we'll see what she
If he wants to go to jail, like, we'll take him. So,
cover that.
Yeah, no, I don't want to upset anybody that has life issues. That's not my intention.
This is why he's standing around. I told him I was going to talk to you. Maybe he had mentioned it.
I just want to make sure what he looks like. So he's good.
If you care to do your best to help.
Okay. Yeah, no, like I said, my intention is to highlight the constitutional issues, the legal issues. And I've asked these gentlemen, this is the interesting thing for here, for you to go home and talk to your husband about this, because we had a good conversation. So what NRS, NAC are you enforcing and trespassing?
it's
from the building?
207.200 if you want to get specific.
207.200.
Yeah.
I believe, what's that one? Disturbing the peace?
I don't know. You tell me, man.
Well,
Again,
no, you're
the
saying one that
that's-
I don't know. The only one I can cite is 200.197.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe that's the one I'm thinking of.
That's
I was off
oppression
by.
under the color of law.
Oh no, that's not what I'm thinking of. So,
200.197? Because that's what you're doing. So hi guys, what's your name, sir?
Officer Hazen,
And your badge number, sir?
13903.
Thank you. And your name and badge number, sir?
Officer Shanley, 15557.
Thanks, sir.
Keep up the fives, there's a lot of them.
There's a lot of them.
All right.
Well, I got it on video, so we're good.
Perfect.
Thank you. I just want to be clear. So are you trespassing me from government property, public property? And if so, what law did I violate?
Did you talk to him?
so I'm not trespassing you.
So I'm not trespassing.
Yet.
No, so you're saying I'm
No.
not trespassing.
Stop with the word games.
No,
okay?
there are no words.
If the supervisor there wants me to trespass you,
we need to be
then
very
yes,
articulate.
I'm going to trespass you.
Under what law?
Okay, 207-200. That's it.
Okay, and what law is
They've asked you to leave. You're refusing to leave.
What law is 207-200?
Pull it up on your phone and
I'm not
read
pulling
it.
anything up, so tell
Then
me
I'm not
the
going to
law.
answer it. I don't have to answer it.
So you're going to tell me that you're going to violate my you're telling me so I'm either being hindering their business. I don't know how he's hindering their business, didn't talk to anybody. So tell me exactly what actions I took that meet the definitions of the law that you're citing.
Tell me what the law says.
You're the law enforcement officer, I'm not going to do that.
Okay,
What
well, I'm not an
action-
educator, so I'm not
what-
going to educate you.
What articulable actions did I take that violated that law?
I don't know. I don't have to be there to watch them.
So-
I just
so-
have to
so-
show up to a building where somebody says they don't want you here anymore,
So,
and you don't get to be here anymore.
no, because you can't trespass somebody from public property. Again, these are more court cases.
Okay.
You can't trespass somebody from public property unless they've committed a crime. So I'm asking, what crime did I commit?
I don't know.
You don't know because I haven't
No.
committed a crime.
But when I write the DOA, I'll ask you to help me.
What's that?
When I write the DOA, I'll ask you to help me.
So what you're saying is you haven't witnessed me committing any crimes. You don't have your body cameras on.
Correct.
So really, you really are trying
Actually,
to...
I was kidding. Just for the record, right? My camera's been on the entire time.
Well, and see, this
So-
is why I do
But
this.
again, I don't have to tell you that. But you
Again,
know that, right?
Again, let
You know that.
me tell you why I don't trust you. Because the government and the law says you can lie to me,
Yeah.
but I can't lie to you. So,
Sucks, huh?
hey, no, those are the rules that we all play by in society.
Here's a little key,
but,
man.
But if you want to understand why people do not trust the police, is because of what you just did.
Okay.
You
Let me-
admitted on camera that you're a liar.
Let me give you a
You
little piece
admitted
of
you've
advice.
got a right to lie.
Don't invite the government into your life, which is exactly what you're doing. I don't want to be here. He doesn't want to be here, and neither do these guys.
I know it
We've
takes
got better
four-
stuff
it
to
takes
do.
4 guys. to
There's
show
like actual
for-
criminal
for-
stuff
for
going
a
on
guy-
out there that
for-
we could be
for a guy
handling.
with nothing on him.
But You want to be here and act a fool, so, now we're
a
here.
guy with nothing on him, it takes 4 cops to show up for a guy that's standing back, being pretty darn calm, and just filming things, and articulating to you that I want you to uphold my constitutional rights. And I asked you a question. Here, maybe the Reno guys.
Sir, do you have your ID on you?
Do you have a reasonable articulate suspicion of a
Yeah,
crime
because you're
that
on
I
this
have
property and
committed?
I've asked you to leave and you're not leaving.
Well, what crime
That's
did I?
trespassing.
What crime did I commit to be trespassed?
You're on their property.
What crime did I commit to be trespassed?
You're on their property and they've asked you to leave. Therefore, you're trespassing.
Okay, so I get.
You're remaining on property after you've been asked to leave it.
Okay, but under the law again, let's go to law. What crime did I commit?
I just told you it's trespass.
No, you have to have a crime to trespass me from public property.
No, if you go on somebody's property,
that's private
and
property.
you remain there after being told to leave, you are trespassing.
Private property. There's a difference between private property and
You have
public
no
property.
business here. They've already
No, I do have
established
business
that.
here.
No, you don't. You don't have a case here.
I was going to do a FOIA request.
You have no right to be here.
Can I go in and do a FOIA request?
No, you can't go in there.
So I can't do. I cannot. So you're preventing me from doing a public information request in a public building.
Are you asking for public assistance, food stamps, TANF, Medicaid? Are you applying for benefits?
I'm not discussing my business with you. I'm just saying I want to go in.
Because that's what they do here.
I want to go in.
They provide government assistance
I want to
for
go
people
in and
applying
do
for benefits.
under Nevada law. I'm allowed. There's a public information request.
But you're not applying for benefits at all. The services that they would be providing for you.
Whatever aspect of law I enter the building for, doesn't matter what aspect of law it is. So you're saying now I can't do a FOIA request? You're preventing me from doing
FOIA request?
a public information request for public records. For all the records.
For all the records?
I want to know how much do they pay their employees. I want to know how many patients they have. I want a lot of information.
Well, this isn't the place to do that.
A government building is not the place to get public information.
You can't go to just any government building and request them.
No, I think you can under the law.
I don't think you can. I don't think they have all that information to give to you.
No, I think legally they've got it. I think federal law requires that under public information disclosure. And then there's the state law. Have you read the state public information disclosure law?
What I'm telling you is I don't think this is the place you go to make that request.
So DWSS, I think that's what they call it now. So if this is their office in northern Nevada and they've got no other offices, where would you go to get that information in?
I don't know, I've never looked it up.
Oh, but you're telling me that you can't go here to get that information?
I'm saying I don't think this is the right place.
Well, I'm telling you under the law.
They're telling me that you have no right to be here.
I'm telling you under the law this is the right place to be.
They're telling me you have no business being here and they don't want you here anymore because you're inside reporting private information that you have no access to.
You just made an accusation. You said I'm inside reporting private information. So, can I ask a question? So, do you have an expectation of privacy in public? Do you as a law enforcement, do they as public employees have any expectation of privacy in public?
Henry, subject 4523.
So let me ask another question.
Go ahead.
I want to report a crime.
Do you?
Yes.
What crime do you want to report?
David Gravel, the Nevada Transportation Authority, seized my papers
How long ago?
about 2 months ago, under the color of law, without a reasonable articulate suspicion of a crime or a warrant or anything that met the criteria of the Fourth Amendment. What will you do about this?
Nothing. I'm not going to do anything
Not
because
going
I
to
don't
enforce a
believe
crime
it.
against a cop. I've got it on videotape too, so
Okay.
it's great.
Well, go make an office
You guys
report.
want to know why I'm out here?
Go make an office
It's to
report.
highlight your corruption.
Okay. Go to the office.
And you're probably
and
one of the
fill out an
biggest tyrants
official
ever.
report.
A
I'm
horrible
the
tyrant.
furthest thing from the tyrant. man.
You're
I don't want to
a
be here
tyrant.
any more than you want to be
You're
here.
a tyrant, not upholding the Constitution. You took an oath to uphold it. And then you come in and instead, I'm the feelings enforcer. You always enforce feelings?
Yeah, Lisa said yes.
Here you. And remember, I did ask for a supervisor, and you guys denied that, right?
You can call him.
No, I'm not calling him.
There's nothing stopping you
it's
from
your
calling
obligation to call your supervisor.
Is it?
Well, I'm asking for it. I'll find out in your policy because you're playing all these games.
Pull it up, man.
I will. And I'll write a complaint about it. I might even do a federal lawsuit.
Perfect.
How many have you had?
A couple.
That's bad. See, if you had a couple, you shouldn't even have this job.
Remember, though, I don't have to tell you the truth.
That's true. But on the other hand, again, I can do FOIA requests to Highway Patrol.
Do it. Go down to the office.
So, it's just amazing to me when I came out with the expectation.
I would really like to hear this, actually. What was your expectation?
That you would uphold the Constitution.
So, hold on, let's... What time did you show up?
My expectation would be...
Do you remember what time you showed up?
I appreciate your question. My expectation would be that you would uphold the Constitution.
Okay.
That you're refusing to do.
Okay, what
my expectation...
What amendment of the Constitution am I violating?
The first.
Okay, how am I doing that?
Preventing me, a member of the press, from gathering my information, filming anything in publicly accessible spaces, entryways, hallways, foyers, lobbies, anything that's not prohibited behind closed access. This is what the courts have ruled. I have a constitutional right to document things in public buildings with public employees.
Okay.
Regardless of their privacy.
Okay, well...
So, for example, the other day I went to DMV. DMV tried to kick me out too. DMV was smarter than you are, though. But the CD guys were a little better. Because they didn't break the law and they didn't violate my constitutional rights like you have. So you've broken the law today, sir. Your law enforcement breaks the law. That's all there is to it. That's what you've done. Why is it legal for me to do this? If you've got an expectation of privacy in public, I think you're probably crazy. Because again, the court's ruled on that one. Who's got the obligation to protect private information in a government building? Does the government have an obligation to protect the information?
I don't know, it's a great question.
I know the answer is though.
What is it?
The government has the obligation to protect private information from the people that they receive. If the issue with the government is people are sitting here at open tables next to each other, sharing their social security numbers like the gal said, everybody can hear it. Would you agree I'm being very open about what I'm doing?
You're being overt. Yeah.
I'm very overt open. I'm not trying to hide this.
Yeah.
Now, if I were nefarious...
But here's the thing, like,
let me
you're disrupting...
How did I disrupt? I didn't say a word.
You're disrupting what's going on in there.
I didn't say a single word to anybody.
You don't have to say a single word.
I didn't move my body in articular... I stood there and I read posters in the wall. I didn't focus my camera on a single individual, and I could have. I looked at posters in the wall, and all of this is what got 4 cops out here wasting time.
Yeah.
It really is.
100%. It's a huge waste of time.
So
I don't want
really,
to be here,
what you guys need to have.
I don't want to be here.
So, Plowman, you should probably talk. Plowman's your boss, right?
No, he's not.
Okay. You should probably talk to the colonel about doing First Amendment training and seeing what that is.
Why don't you call him and tell him that we need more training?
I'm going to.
We absolutely do.
I'm going to. You guys. Well, I don't know if you're still the lowest paid police force in the state right now, but you were. I don't know if I didn't look after the last legislative session. I don't think they did a lot for you. But shouldn't you have the higher standards being state police instead of the lowest standards?
Yeah. Weird how that works.
Isn't it though? But yet with these low standards, they give you the authority to arrest, take people's freedom, take people's money, take people's lives, and you don't even know the Constitution. See, I'll bet you can't answer this question. If you can answer this question, I'd be amazed. What's the Third Amendment to the Constitution of the United States?
I don't know.
Isn't that sad? You took an
crazy.
oath to it and you don't...
But I actually have a bunch of copies of the Constitution in the car if you want one.
Shouldn't you read it?
No.
Why not?
What do I need to know for? That's a joke,
For situations
guys.
just like this. But see, the people that watch these videos, and I'm amazed at how many people are watching. I just started this.
See, the funny thing is, man, like, that's exactly why you're here. You don't care what's
No, I
going
do.
on inside the building.
You're wrong.
You're not here to illuminate, whatever perceived problems you have with law enforcement.
100% wrong.
You're here to garner views on social media. So you come to a public establishment and you cause a scene. And now we're out here wasting our time with you.
So you just said it perfectly. I want viewers. Why do I want viewers? I want them to see.
No, you don't.
People, why do when you figure out who I am, and you will,
I don't care who you are.
I got a business in town. I don't need to do this. I am doing this as a political statement. I'm doing this as a legal statement. I've been a lobbyist at the Nevada legislature. I've helped write laws, got laws passed, had things changed. This is another step in my progression of what I'm doing with government when I see government as being wrong. I've sued the highway patrol before.
I hope you won.
Well, the court dismissed it and I didn't pursue it.
Weird.
I still could. Well, just another 50 grand. But my point is, I've decided to use this as a medium to come out and try to get change in our system.
Okay, so what is the change that you're trying to accomplish right now? How can I help you with that? Can I help you with that right now?
Go read the Constitution.
Okay, I'll read it when we leave.
Understand at least the first 10 amendments, if not all of them. Probably the 14th Amendment too. Due process is a good one.
Yeah.
But shouldn't you, as law enforcement that took an oath to the Constitution, at least have an idea of what the Third Amendment is? I mean, really.
What is it? Give me a little education right now.
You don't get to house troops. You don't get to put troops in my house.
Oh. See, so that really doesn't have anything to do with law enforcement, does it?
Well, what if there's
So,
no?
I don't care.
No, you don't know. We could have never predicted COVID, right? What if there's a war, and what if troops and things like that happen? You've taken an oath to stop that, but you didn't even know it.
Okay, well, I promise you, I won't put any troops in your house. That'll make you feel better?
What would make me feel better is if you upheld my constitutional rights instead of trying to trespass me illegally
Okay.
with no reasonable articulate suspicion of me breaking any law, because I have not. I'm very meticulous about not breaking laws. I don't like breaking laws. It sucks to break laws. And again, that's why I'm here, because I feel the government has violated me, so I'm trying to make a statement to government.
Okay, so then let me just ask you, forget that I'm a police officer and I'm talking to you in an official government capacity, right? Do you think, this is just person talking to person, do you think that whatever perceived wrongs you've suffered in the past justify going in there and disrupting everybody else that's in there? Do you think that you one person, your rights outweigh everybody else's desire to go in there and apply for state assistance without being recorded by somebody that they don't know?
What you said just a second ago, my rights, you said my rights, correct?
Yeah.
Versus their desires. Are their desires codified in the Constitution?
No, they're not.
And that's exactly,
that's why I'm just saying, like, what?
But that's my exact point. I don't want to embarrass any of these people. I don't want to shame them.
Then what are you doing in here?
I'm getting a response from you, and at least I'm getting
Exactly. That's the whole thing.
But
I
I
don't care what's going on in there. Your whole
I get to educate you
objective
today. I
for
get to
coming down here
educate him.
was to get law enforcement to respond.
No, it
so
wasn't.
here we are.
It wasn't.
You've accomplished
What
that.
my
Can
goal
you
was-
please leave?
What time is it?
I don't know. Look on
I'll
your
tell you
phone.
what. As soon as you guys leave, I will leave.
That's not how it works.
Okay, then we'll stay here.
I get paid by the hour, man.
So do I. I get paid 24 hours a day.
Okay.
So, again,
I'm not talking to you anymore right now. Just stay right
I'm
there.
actually, hey, let me ask a question. So you said I was initially being detained. Am I still being detained?
You're free to leave.
Okay,
You're not free to go back in the
leave,
building.
So I'm free to stay.
Take
Thank
off.
you. I'm free to leave. I'm free to stay. Thank you. So based on what you're saying,
Okay.
you're going to stay here all night. So am I. Cool.
What do you want done?
You're not going to stay.
We're gonna do the complaint. Is that what we're doing?
I don't know. You tell me.
Trespassing?
Yeah, so-
I got the okay to do the
Okay,
the
I'm going to ask
They
a question.
have their sergeant come in.
What legal, what law did I
Okay,
break?
hey, so right now we're talking, and I don't want you to interrupt us.
Okay, please,
so you
please
can
stand
go
back from me.
stand
Please stand
over
back
there.
from me. Please stand back
Now
from me.
you're
I did not move to
interfering
you.
with
I did,
my
I did not. Well, let me
business.
let me see. I think
So
the court
stay
said
right
10
there.
feet.
We got our Sarge marking, so.
And remember, I asked for a sergeant.
He's here.
Oh, good. That'll be good. What
I'm not trying to
reasonable
mess in your
article
business.
suspicion
No,
of
maybe
crime
he can.
did I commit?
Dude, if the sergeant can get him out of here, that's perfect.
I called him and he was already close.
Every time. Yeah.
So let me see, we're gonna have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cops for one guy with a camera. That's pretty messed up.
That's math.
That's what you asked for.
I didn't ask for
Yes,
any of it.
You did. You would have just left when they asked, and this wouldn't happen.
Why should I violate my rights?
You're not
Why should
violating.
anybody
Can you violate your own rights?
Why would I allow you?
Let me
to
ask you a question. Could you just be a good citizen
I am
and
a good
not
citizen.
cause issues?
How is this causing issues?
Well,
You guys
again,
respond for a guy with a camera.
there's 5 of
Hi,
us here.
Sergeant.
You're wasting everybody's time.
You guys could just leave.
So could you. It's weird.
Yeah, but I've got a right to be here.
Well, so do I, because I'm a state employee. So,
Hello, hi Sergeant.
How are you?
What's your name?
Girl? What's your last name, girl?
What's your name, sir?
Sergeant Blas.
And your badge number?
972.
Thank you.
How can I help you?
I'm just waiting for you guys to leave. I've been evidently trespassed from this building, and I'm asking for the crime that I committed to be trespassed from a public space. So you know what the crime is?
So, it isn't so much that you...
Stand back.
Okay. It isn't so much that you're not allowed to be here, right? It's your actions inside the building.
What were my actions that were illegal?
I just got here, so if you don't mind, I'll talk to them, and then
I'll
when I
wait
have
for
it,
you.
I'll let you know.
I'll wait for you.
Awesome. Appreciate it. Drew?
Yes, sir.
Alright. So it's your guys' facility, right? You guys are in charge of it?
yeah, technically.
Alright, we'll talk about it.
Come on, ma'am.
Alright, so what do you guys got?
Alright, so we were alerted that he was in the building and that he was filming all of our customers and filming in our lobby. And the customers had already expressed that they didn't be filmed. Bobby is a supervisor, my name's Sarah, the supervisor. She had tried to tell him he needed to leave, that he couldn't be filming. And he said it's his constitutional right. And then I went out and told him you cannot be filming here. It's a violation of confidentiality. You cannot be filming our customers, their faces, their identities, they're disclosing confidential information. You cannot film that. He said it's his constitutional right, and he was simply exposing all of the violations of privacy because they're said out loud. And we engaged just to keep them away from customers. He refused to turn off the camera.
Yep.
Refused to leave. And we had very amicable conversation, which was fine, until that camera was cut. And we do not want. He expressed that he was not applying for public assistance, so he didn't have a purpose to be in the building. He said he'd been at DMV last week, doing the same thing for his right, and that he will be posting it on his YouTube channel.
Okay. So what is your guys' policy? Do you guys have a policy in place that says no filming? Yeah. These are all things that are going to come into play, right?
To my knowledge,
Through your
yes.
guys' criminal
The
process. So
policy is no filming.
and that's you guys have you have people applying for assistance. That's not really public information. You can't go to the website and find out who got what, right?
Right.
So all that stuff is private information. The concern that he or what he's trying to expose is that it is a public building. Anybody can come in and do that, right? So if he's not filming in like a private space, right? Somewhere where you guys are interviewing people, giving their information. That's what he's trying to expose. I agree with that. This won't be our investigation at all. It will be your guys' investigation, which is why I wanted to have that candid talk.
No, I appreciate you coming down.
And you guys will have to decide that, right? You guys will have to decide, is his action in that public space, right, that everybody has access to, or is it at a spot that normal people wouldn't have access to and that you guys can trespass people from, right? So like we can trespass people from our lobby once it caused a disturbance, right? But if they came in and filmed, we couldn't trespass them because that's a public area, right?
So as soon as him coming in and filming was one thing, but us asking him to leave and to discontinue filming and him refusing, then can that be disturbance?
So
then?
that's
Especially
where
because customers were saying
that's where it comes into play. If you guys have a policy or something that has protected information, right, inside this building, there's no filming to protect the
privacy,
of other
customers.
people, right? Like,
Oh, even just up at our front, you can see, computer screens with socials, addresses, names.
right. So,
You can film all of it.
and that's the thing. So that's where you guys have to make that decision. If that's the information that is protected, that he can't film, right? So with us, like I said, if it's our police station and they're walking in, and that's why everything behind closed doors, people can't film, right? Because we have all that same private information that we can't have out there, right? And all your programs, people can't have access to, right? So, give me a minute, I'll bounce this off someone higher than me. But this is more education for you guys.
Yeah.
Because especially if you guys are working here or in charge of this building.
This is the first time I've ever been in this building. The only reason I'm here is because Capitol Police is not on duty right
Gotcha.
now. So,
Yeah.
if we do take enforcement action, it won't be for the filming.
No,
it'll
it's
be for
for
causing a
trespass.
disturbance. Yeah.
Well, and keep in mind, it is because the disturbance is caused by the filming, right? So that's why you guys are trespassing, to protect private people's information, right? At which point he was asked to leave, or he was asked to stop filming,
Yes.
right? And he was refused to. And that refusing portion is what's causing the trespassing, right? You're more than welcome to be here, sir. You just can't film because that's what we're asking.
And that's correct.
So give me a minute. I'm gonna go back to my car. I'm gonna do a little research and I'll help you guys out.
Thanks, Sarge.
So Capital got off this, huh?
On a Friday.
They got out of it. You're gonna have
Well,
to
yeah,
rouse them.
Tom's already home, probably enjoying a good life with his wife.
Be like, thanks a lot, guys.
Yeah, thanks, Tom. Thanks, Barbieri. Right.
Got Joseph.
Mm-hmm.
NHP, do you know Trooper Lund? Riley Lund? That's my cousin.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He said you might want to not tell people that because you never know if they're going to like me or not like me.
So my
Good
trespass from the
advice.
building?
Yeah.
That's good advice.
Yeah.
So my trespass from the building, where are we at?
Well, we'll be with you in a minute. You can go back over there.
I'm right here. I'm 10 feet away from everybody. I'm pretty good, I think. I believe that's what the courts have said. It's about 10 feet away.
What court case was that?
You gotta go look that one up yourself, man. Just the game you played with me. I was trying to give you information and you wanted to play the game and not give me information. That was really unprofessional.
Okay.
If you're going to communicate with somebody, tell them the law, explain things to them, try to educate them, as opposed to trying to play games with them. I mean, that's really... Why would you play games? Do you play games with people to arrest them? Is that what
you're
your goal
playing
is?
a game right now.
No, I'm not playing
This
a game.
entire game was initiated by you.
I'm asking questions of a government-paid employee that has,
Okay, so here's
that
the
has power in our
official
society,
response.
and he plays games. You've got the power to arrest people, take people's freedom, ultimately people's lives sometimes, the power that the state's given you, and you've got qualified immunity while you do this, but yet you lie to the public, like you lied to me. And you admitted you lied on camera.
Yeah, it's funny.
So this is why the people don't trust people.
You play games, man.
I'm not
We
playing
play
games.
games.
I'm very
That's the
specific in
game.
what I'm doing. I'm very specific in my actions. I'm very specific in how I do this. And that's why I do this, to educate and see.
Did you hear that? That was a call for service that we should be at right now because
Then
people
leave.
actually need our help.
I'm not going to leave until you leave. That's how this works.
Okay, well,
So, I mean, we really can be here all night long. Because I'm sure the sergeant told you, the same thing that I told you, this is a constitutionally protected activity. I'm sure the sergeant told them, because I heard him say it, they've got to protect their screens and information, and they're being negligent in how they're doing it here. But yet it's my fault because I showed up and I discovered these problems. So it's my fault because I discovered problems within the state of Nevada. Is that what everybody's saying?
yeah. So
Yeah, okay,
I mean,
I'm glad you said that.
here's where we're at. If you go today, right? If we trespass you and then you refuse to leave, the trespass is going to be for causing a disturbance. Not because you had a video recording device in there. It's because you're disrupting the activities that are going on in that building, and you can't do that.
Let me
So-
be very clear to all of you. Under federal law, if you trespass me, I will bring a federal lawsuit against you, ma'am. Not that I dislike you.
Drew, come on.
I'm just telling you what the rules of the game are. And I don't want it to be a game. I'd rather educate and have everybody know what the Constitution allows us to do and protect it instead of litigate. I'm not here to litigate. I don't want to litigate. It's a pain in the ass. But under the law, you need a reasonable articulable suspicion that I committed a crime. So what was the crime you said again?
causing a disturbance.
Okay, causing a disturbance. I believe under that statute, there's got to be a physical act that caused the disturbance. What was the physical act?
What's the statute? Because I'm not familiar with that one.
You're gonna. I'm just recalling it off the top of my head. I don't remember the statute number on that one, but I do recall that there's got to be a physical act. What physical act?
Like what? A physical act committed against somebody else?
What disturbance did I create?
I don't know. You're disrupting the activities of this
How
building.
did I? What did I do to disrupt?
You tell me. You were here. I wasn't here.
I've exercised my Fifth Amendment constitutional right not to incriminate myself. So you've got to prove your case now. If you're gonna trespass me, prove your case because I'm gonna take it to court.
I don't have to prove
Well,
anything to you, buddy. Like, let's get that
if
straight.
you write it up, you'll have to prove it because I'll take it to court, and then I'll take it to federal court, and then I'll also under Nevada law NRS 200-197. Right now you're
The
violating.
building's closed?
You're violating Nevada law 200-197, oppression under the color of law. That's the law you're violating.
What is it?
right now.
I'm gonna look it up. We're gonna read it together.
NRS 200-197 is oppression of constitutional rights under the color of law, and that is the law you're breaking right now.
What's going on there? It's good. You're gonna go. Days like that, you like till we get to home. All right, what's the number, boy?
What'd you say it was?
200-197, I believe.
Okay. You want to film my screen?
Is that oppression?
Can you film it? I've got the NRS up right
Is
here.
that 200-197?
So let's see. We've got 200.150,
I can look at it when I get
200-160, 200-170, 200-180, 200-190, 200. There is no 197, man.
Google
So-
NRS oppression under the color of law.
How about you do it?
I'm not doing that.
Oh, okay.
I already know the law's out there.
Oh, you just don't know what it is.
Yeah, I can go find the code later.
Okay. Cool.
Find it?
I'm engaged
Oh, okay. Now look at that one.
in other business.
The 27 was valid on the Class C, and the 28 was also valid on the Chevy. Thank you.
All right. At least I got some food. Look,
Computer 3091, stash check.
nobody's helping me. I got to work. That's why I can't work, boy. Hey, I would have worked. I would have
238. What time did we go? 23.
23 at 1636. 1636.
All right, thanks.
That hurts. Makes the roller stick hurt. Slow down. Oh, that hurts. What you did, boy? Look at that. What you did? Hey, I can get boy.
Are we trespassing here or what are we doing?
We're standing by right now.
Okay. Trying to find a law?
The sergeant's talking to the lieutenant.
Okay.
The law is 207-200. Like, that's not debatable. So,
But like I said, what articulable suspicion of the law that I broke?
I'll put that, if we get to that point, I'll put that in the DOA, and then you can read it.
God bless you. Be safe.
Appreciate that. Take care, man.
Thank you.
So, obviously with the state building, identify your seat. Like in a public meeting forum, like we have it all the time at City Hall, right? Where somebody goes in a public meeting, they go over 3 minutes, they're called, hey, you're done, and then it progresses, right? And then they trespass. So it's not, you guys, I don't know what your guys' policy is, and I don't know what the building policy is. All those things I know you guys are the last to know. I would wonder if there's a contact for you guys to call up state police to see how they would handle this.
Probably.
That would probably be your best bet, right?
The other thing is they're closed now, so you can't.
It doesn't even matter.
Fantastic.
So, come back on Monday.
Okay. Any questions for me, guys?
No, man. I appreciate you guys coming out.
Yeah, it's been a lot.
I know. I've been
Weird.
sending you a book.
More help.
All right, take care, guys.
Take care, guys.
Bye, Drew.
Have a good night.
Have a good night, Drew. They're closed.
Yes, they are.
Take care.
And I wish no evil upon you guys. Be safe.
So here's where we're at. You're not going to be trespassed right now.
I was ready.
Our mission. No.
Well,
So,
you could have if you would have.
man, like I said, I'm not a tyrant, and I don't want to take enforcement action if I don't have to. So the building's closed, right? It's Friday. If you want to come back on Monday and try this stuff again, like I'm sure Capitol Police will be on duty, and they'll send those guys down here too, and we'll go through this whole rigmarole again. But NRS 207-200, right? That's trespassing.
Right.
Okay?
I'm aware of that.
So,
and again, private property trespass is...
there's no differentiation.
If you walk onto my property... No, there's a big differentiation between public and private.
Maybe federal, right?
Well, no.
But this isn't federal.
No,
this is state.
Exactly.
Okay, so if you go in there and if you disrupt the functions... or disrupt the activities that are going on inside that building, you can and will be removed.
Okay.
You've already wasted enough of our time today. Please don't make us come back out here on Monday or Tuesday or whenever you've got more free time to come down here and be a nuisance.
I'll make a deal. When you guys get educated...
I'm going to get educated over the weekend.
Please do.
Because if you come back here, I hope I come back.
Please do.
And I promise you we're going to go for 207.
Go look up First Amendment auditing.
Okay.
That's what I'm doing.
Okay, well, I want you to review 207-200.
Oh, I will. I've
right?
already looked
and you can audit all you want, right? When you're just wasting my time. But when you're disrupting what's going on in there,
use the word
then
disrupt.
it becomes
Again, I'm
a bigger
going to
thing.
ask you, what action did I do to disrupt?
Okay. I don't have to tell you that.
Did
Number
I just
one,
stand
you were
there?
in there.
I was standing there filming.
But when I have 2 supervisors from the building that are going to fill out a criminal complaint against you, outlining all of your actions, then I take action on that. Right, and ultimately, it will be their job to come down to court and testify to what they saw, because it would be a misdemeanor not committed in my presence.
Absolutely.
Right, so I'm charging you based on their information. They're going to come down and testify, and then the judge will figure it out. But again, that's a waste of everybody's time, man.
And everybody,
you're wasting everyone's time. Go do something productive with your life instead of being a nuisance down here.
Something productive, because you're going to go home and read the Constitution tonight, and that's productive if you learn about what this is that I'm doing.
You know what?
Because then you can uphold the law better.
So let's be more productive.
And
on Monday, why don't you go down to the Highway Patrol office and bring everybody a little copy of the Constitution, or we'll have like a Constitution reading session, kind of like a Bible study session, where you can outline to our cops how we need to be doing our jobs better to satisfy you, so that you stop wasting everybody's time.
Actually, if you tell your lieutenant.
Who's my lieutenant?
I don't know who your lieutenant is.
Okay.
I just know a couple of them down there.
Who do you know?
Plowman.
Who else?
Well, I used to know. Anyways, he was a piece
Who do you know?
Major Step. What the fuck? I think he's retired now after he got caught sleeping with somebody's wife in Carson.
Yeah,
that was the story.
He's not retired yet.
Oh, he's still over at investigations or wherever they demoted him to.
He's somewhere. Yeah.
So I know a little bit about what goes on over there.
Okay. Then you know how short-handed we are.
I do.
You know
and that's why it pisses
you
me
are
off.
wasting everybody's time. Like, we literally have 3 troopers in the valley right now, and you've got 2 of them down here dealing with this bullshit instead of us being out there doing what we're supposed to be doing.
Remember, I gave you a complaint.
And I told you to go to the office.
And you wouldn't investigate it. This is why I'm doing what I do.
Go to the office and fill out a report, and it'll get assigned to somebody, and then we'll handle it. You just don't tell me, hey, this person did this 2 months ago, and then I run off.
No, I've been going slowly trying to mitigate the issue. And as I've been doing it, every time I try to mitigate the issue with anybody in law enforcement, now you're the other one, everybody says the same thing.
What do they say?
No, I'm not doing nothing. And since it's a cop investigating a cop, you guys won't do shit.
I don't even know who Nevada Transportation, who'd you say it was?
Nevada Transportation Authority.
The taxi cops? Why don't you go complain down to them?
I did. I'm talking to their attorney right now.
Then what do you need me for?
Because it's a criminal complaint, and I'm trusting the agency to investigate itself when they won't.
Well, we're a state agency too, right? Don't you think that's a conflict of interest? Why don't you go report it to Reno or Spark?
I already tried to report it to Washoe County yesterday.
And what did they say?
We don't investigate the state.
That's weird.
So
Thank you.
Why am I doing this?
Take care.
I'm doing this because I'm not getting any
If this happens again,
satisfaction.
call
It will.
and we'll go.
Let me tell you, I
we'll
will
go
be
same.
back. I will audit you again.
What days?
I'm not telling you that.
Because I'm going to feel a little sick on those days there, Drew.
But we can have a talk. I won't break any laws.
Have a good afternoon.
I will be. Was I ever impolite in that?
You were never impolite.
And I made an effort not to get in people's faces and stand out of their way. So again, if you trespass me, you have to have a law that I violated to trespass. So disturbing the peace, filming with the camera, the courts have ruled is not disturbing the peace. Have a nice night.
Do you have any other questions for us?
No.
Do you want to like cut the camera and go off the record and have a little chat?
No.
Oh, that's weird.
And you're on the record anyways.
Yeah, always.
As long as
Right?
it's
I
on.
don't even know why you asked that question. Is your body camera on? If you know the game, you know the game. Of course I'm going to give you a sarcastic answer.
Because you can turn it on, turn it off. But see, you don't know me and I don't know you. There shouldn't be sarcasm coming from you to me. A lot of people have a lot of fear of law enforcement.
Are you scared right now?
Am I scared right
Yeah.
now? I'm very nervous.
Why are you nervous?
I'm dealing with law enforcement. You've got the power to take my life and have nothing
By
happen.
your choice and by your desire. You said you wanted to come down here to get a law enforcement response. Why would you do that if you were nervous
I
around
didn't
cops?
say that.
Yeah, you did. Go back and watch your video.
I didn't want it. I told her if she wants to call the cops, call the cops. And I had a nice
So let me ask you a
conversation
question. If we didn't show up, oh, by the way, like you're not detained anymore.
Thank
it
you
hasn't
very
been an hour yet. You're free to go whenever
Not
you want.
allowed
This is
now.
now
I appreciate
consensual
that.
contact.
Yes,
See,
I
I
know.
know a little something about a little something.
Yeah, I
regardless
should
of
hope
what I
so.
tell you. Right? So this is now consensual contact. This is Ty talking to Drew, who won't give me his last name. Right? Because you're playing the game that everybody plays.
You're going to find my last name
Let me
anyway.
just ask you a question. No, I'm not, because I don't care. I'm going to go back to the highway and I'm going to go handle another crash for somebody else that actually needs law enforcement assistance, which is not you.
No, I don't need
Right?
it at all.
But let's just
I do need
let's
it.
play this out.
See, if
you
the
come
state would
down here
investigate its own officers, I
and
wouldn't be
they
here.
don't request us, and you walk around and you just film, right? And nobody has an issue with that, and you leave. Then what? What are you going to do then? You're going to post all that on YouTube?
I post that too, yeah.
For what? What's the point?
Here's the amazing thing.
What's the point?
Here's the amazing thing.
What's the goal? Who wants to sit there on
you
YouTube
wanna
and
know-
watch some random person's video
There
of
are-
people they don't know inside of a state building asking for state assistance?
There are a few of them out there. There are a few good videos out there of cops doing this. There's one of a guy named Amagansson Press. Actually, he did BD Nevada a little while ago. And he did the BD post office. He walked in there. Everything was perfect. The lady was nice. And he posts it and he goes, you know what? Thank you for being such a kind human being. And he leaves. Those things are up there. The problem is, I started this a few days ago. I don't have a big following yet, but it's amazing how many people have already watched the videos. It's crazy.
But is your goal to get a big following?
My goal is to fix the problem. I don't have to do this anymore. If I fix the problem, I'll go. Just like I told you, I've been a lobbyist and I've changed laws.
What laws did you change?
Some blue light laws. And some, anyways,
What was the blue light law?
on tow trucks and other things.
Okay, what was the law before you changed it, and what was your goal
Well,
in wanting it changed?
Well, safety, save lives. How do most troopers die?
By being stupid.
No, most troopers die by getting hit by cars on the
Yeah,
freeway.
by being dumb, if we're being honest.
Most troopers, yeah, 100%.
I would know. I've been a trooper for a minute.
Most troopers don't die by getting shot. Most troopers don't die from altercations like this. Again, I'm trying to step back from in your space. You guys get hit and killed by cars. That's where you die. That's the dangerous part of your job. That's the dangerous part of that cop's job.
Okay,
He
so
doesn't play on the freeway as
what
much.
was the law?
It just let emergency vehicles have steady blue lights in the back of them.
How long ago was this?
It was 2 sessions ago, I believe. Senator Mo Dennis was the guy that sponsored the bill. Got
So
the BDR
2
for it.
sessions that would have been, what, 5 years ago or 3 years ago?
Something back then.
So what was the law before? We couldn't have steady
No,
blues?
no.
Because I've had steady
No,
blues since I've
well,
been a police officer.
Law enforcement has always been able to have it. It was whether,
You're
actually,
talking about NDOT. You're talking about
The tow trucks.
Department of Transportation having steady blue lights.
well, and then they added tow trucks, and then they added the emergency service vehicles, and then they added the other vehicles. All the vehicles that can play on the freeway can now do that. And there were some other things that I got changed to with regards to 487.
Okay, well, thanks for
So,
that.
I'm doing this because I'm very frustrated. I'm risking my business right now.
That's your choice, not my choice.
But that's how upset I am.
What are you upset about? What happened to Drew in the past?
That my papers were seized and I was threatened by the government. The Fourth Amendment.
By the Nevada Transportation?
Yes.
The taxi cops came and got you? What did they get you for?
J.D. Decker was involved too.
That name's familiar.
Yes,
Who's J.D. Decker?
He's the chief of CED at DMV, along with Julie Butler.
Okay, I don't know her.
What'd
they do?
They came and they seized.
Hold on. So let me say, I'm not
trying to hide who I am, but that tells you exactly who I am.
I don't care who you are, man. I'm going to get in my car and I'm going to be gone, and I'm not going to think about you again unless I have to come back down here. I don't care who you are. But if you want to vent and you want to talk to me, man, I'll be here to listen for you.
I just want the problem fixed.
So tell me about the contact.
Well, he came into my office, took my papers.
What papers?
Some impound papers. I have a towing company. So he took my
Do you have a contract with the Highway Patrol?
Yeah. Well, no, we don't have contracts. It's auto return now. God bless auto return.
Yeah.
I told you I've sued the state before. That tells you who I am, doesn't it?
I mean, it could if I wanted to go research.
I sued you over auto return. That's what I sued you for.
And that's why we have it now, or what?
No, that's why you still have it, because I didn't appeal it. If I'd appealed it, we might not have it.
Oh. Okay.
See, I really am not against you. Because I'm guessing you probably don't like them either.
You know what? Sometimes they show up quickly, sometimes they don't show up quickly.
Just like it always used to be.
Yeah, it's weird.
Nothing changed. Actually it changed for me. In the end, it got better. I shouldn't have sued him. I made more money with the way that it is now. That's the messed up part, isn't it?
So maybe it wasn't messed up then?
No. In my moral, ethical view of the world, it's messed up. Just because I'm a beneficiary of it being messed up doesn't mean it's not messed up. Have you ever done anything in your job where you're going, I really don't want to do this, but I got to do this?
Right now. Yeah.
You got called to come deal with some guy with a camera to prove a point.
Yeah.
And it took 5 cops to figure out that what I'm doing is not illegal.
No, it took 5 cops to delay until it was 5 o'clock so that we don't have to do any paperwork. That's
God bless the paperwork.
That's the bottom line. It's Friday. I want to go home.
Well, I'll tell you what, as soon as you guys walk away, I'll be walking away too.
Well, it doesn't matter. Like, you can stay here all night now because you can't get into the building, so who cares?
Oh, I don't. And here's the other thing with me and other people that do this. I don't want to break any laws. I don't want to. I'm a black and white human. Why do you think I try to learn the laws, know the laws, and know where I can go and what I can't do? I don't want to break laws. I want to be on the right side of the law. I don't want to be on the wrong side of the law. I want to help society. I don't want to hurt people. I just want people to live their lives, leave other people alone, and be happy.
So let me talk about that second one. Leave other people alone. Are you in here leaving other people alone when you're running a camera around? Do you think, let me ask you, hold on, let me stop. Do you think that those people in there want to be in there? Do you think that they're proud that they're in there? Or maybe they're going through like a shitty, tough time in their life and they're asking for help from the state because they cannot provide for themselves and their family by themselves?
I believe they're having a hard time. I do believe.
So do you really think that you're doing any good by going in there and running a camera around and getting their faces and getting their applications and getting their driver's license and all that stuff?
I did none of those things.
Okay, well that's what's being alleged.
I did none of those things. And
I wasn't here, so I wasn't here. I didn't see it, right? But that's what's being alleged. That's the information I'm
You
acting
saw me
on.
shake her hand, right?
Yeah.
You heard us. We had a nice conversation.
We're having a nice conversation.
We are. I don't want to hurt anybody. So when I do these, like I said, I was in the DMV the other day, and they stopped me. You know why they stopped me? They said, you can see our computer screens from where you're standing. Just like if you go in here, you can see all their computer screens. They're all visible to the public. The people sitting over there, and I think the sergeant was talking about that, I think I heard that. The public is sitting right there within earshot, giving social security numbers, giving all of this private information in a public place. Now I'm doing this again to prove a point. Did I find security weaknesses here where the state is giving people information?
I would say yes. Yeah.
So
I don't think they're doing a very good job.
So if I expose this, and that gal said she'd been here like 15, 16 years, if I expose this after 15 or 16 years, in the last 15 or 16 years, if somebody had nefarious intentions, is it possible that they probably took a lot of information?
It's very possible.
So perhaps I saved a lot of people in the future because now they can fix the problem.
Or maybe you just go in and you say, hey, are you still recording?
Always.
Okay. So maybe you just go in and say, hey guys, I'm Walt. I want to do something good for society. Your security here for people's information I don't think is very good, and here's why, and give it to them. Have you done that yet?
But here's, I just told you, I just tried to make a complaint about David Gravel to you, and you said no. So when my experience, if I go in there and I make a complaint,
but is it a complaint, or can you just say, hey, I want to help you guys?
A critique or whatever, somebody, some state employee or whatever is going to take it and go, oh, this is nice. This is my experience with the state of Nevada. And the excuse is going to be, well, we're too short-handed, so we couldn't deal with that.
Yeah, it's probably more of a money thing than
or a money thing. So,
thing.
but if I go do it the way that you're telling me, just like nobody will investigate another cop, why would I trust the system that's already failed me? Why wouldn't I take something in there to document what's going on, to ensure the problem gets fixed?
So we've come back to that a couple times now. So I'm going to tell you, like,
this way the problem gets, same reason you wear a body camera.
This is Trooper Ty now, right?
Okay.
You want to report a crime that occurred 2 months in the past against another police officer. That's not my function within the state. I'm not trained to do that. I'm not an investigator, right? I'm a trooper. So if you seriously want to pursue that, then you need to call NDI. You know who that is?
Yes, I do.
So that is the state agency that handles that kind of stuff. So go report it to them.
I'm moving.
I'll take your contact information and I'll send it over there for them if you want me to.
That answer I appreciate, and that answer I like. Thank you for that answer. I will give it NDI because I do recognize it's not your job. My point in saying that to you and giving you that information was to see what your reaction was.
Exactly.
And your reaction
it's not because you really want to report a crime.
No,
it is because trying to make a scene.
No, it is because I want to report a crime.
Man.
My intention was to highlight that you wouldn't even do it. And
You're
that's
right.
what I did.
I'm not going to do it. I told you to call the office.
Right.
And that's still what I'm telling you to do. I'm just giving you more specific information now because I think you're being genuine instead of just making a scene.
At what time did I make a scene in any of this other than asking questions?
So I'm not talking about making a scene at that particular 10-second blurb when you said that, right? But the entire time we're here, like, that's what's going on.
Well, when you say scene, how I put that in my mind is I'm out here gesticulating or being very loud or being very boisterous or drawing a lot of attention as opposed to having a one-on-one or a one-on-two conversation. So I mean, I guess it's semantics.
So I understand that, right? So now look at it from the other side. All those people in that building, everybody that's out here sees one person with a camera with 5 cops and 2 state employees. And it doesn't matter, like, the demeanor between any of us. We've all been, relatively polite to one another.
Yeah.
Have I offended you personally on any level? Have I called you names or been an a-hole to you?
Just the lies are what get me.
Well,
and that's because I'm a very
part of the game, right?
But see, the game. See, that's the problem that I have as a human being with government and the way the government plays the game. To me, when I'm interacting with government in my life experience, the only thing government has done for me is either taken my money. I've never been arrested, ever. Never been in handcuffs. Never been in the back of one of your cars. Like I said, I try to follow the rules as much as I can. That's why I know the rules doing what I'm doing here. But government doesn't help the people. The only thing that
didn't I say that? I said don't invite the man into your life. And that's what you're doing when you come down here.
But see, the government's already involved in my life when they come and seize my papers and make up new rules without going to the legislature or following NRS 233B, which is the regulation-making process.
Okay, so listen, Walt.
Drew.
I'm sorry, Drew.
You're okay.
Who was Walt?
Write my name down.
Right? Drew. So the entire time that we've been out here, right, like, you've been very articulate, you appear to be very intelligent, but it seems like all of this stuff is because you were wronged 2 months ago by a taxi cab.
It goes back even further than that. I kind of told you who I am. So this man has done this to me before. About 5 years ago he did this. He came and he was investigating another company, and he called me up. And he said, Drew, I'm over here looking at this, blah, blah, blah. Tell me about this stuff. I said, Dave, I'm not going to tell you anything. I'm going to take the Fifth Amendment. He goes, well, then I'm going to be down at your office and seize hundreds of your documents. Guess what he did? Came and seized hundreds of documents. Guess what he didn't find? Any crime that he was looking for that he was asking me about. So because I exercised my constitutional right years ago with this man, he came and seized my documents and cost me thousands and thousands of dollars in employee time. He did find, if I recall, he found one error that he wrote me a citation on. There was a time clock error on there, if I remember. So he got me on a You broke the law, you broke the law. But he got me on a number and call it whatever it was. And now he does it this time. And I'm going, I played this game with you before, Dave. So when he called me in to interview me, I took a camera with me. And I just asked him the exact same questions like I've been asking you, Dave. Well, what reasonable suspicion did you have to pull my paperwork? Well, DMV told me to. Well, what NRS or NAC are they enforcing? If you want to go watch the video, he gets very angry right after that. I, as a human being, I, as a licensed individual that tries to work in the government, work with the government, is known to people, I should not have to be treated rudely, disrespectfully, or have government that's supposed to protect my rights violate them.
I agree 100%, man. 100%.
And that's really what this protest comes down to, is this one employee over there that for years I've been documenting what he's been doing. And now when I contact the NTA attorney over there, her name's Patricia, she doesn't seem to want to do nothing. When I contact the Washoe County Sheriff, he didn't seem to want to do nothing. So what does a guy like me do that's done these other things? Like I've told you some of my history. The Towing Association, guess who started that?
You.
I went around to all the towing companies and talked to everybody. Said, hey, and they all said, we're having the same problem. So these are the things that I've done in the past. Formed associations, dealt with government, and now I'm seeing, well, those other things haven't worked. Let's try this. Let's document it. Let's put it out there. Let people see it. Let's put it out in the media, the press, because what entity is supposed to keep government in check? The press. Who is the press? The First Amendment of the Constitution. There's 5 prongs of the First Amendment, right?
Sure.
There are. Anyways, one of them is freedom of the press. People ask you, where's your press card? Where's your press credentials? The government can't control the press, just like they can't control religion or speech. So that's why there are no press cards unless some private company, probably owned by BlackRock, issues them.
They own everybody, man.
We agree.
Yeah.
It's the biggest monopoly ever.
Man, so you and I would probably be friends if I wasn't working.
We probably would be. We probably see things very similar.
Yeah.
I'm very conservative. I'm very black and white. I'm not an anarchist. I am law and order. I like rules. I want society to work so you are equally subject to law, just like me.
100% I'm subject to law, man. Everything I do out here is going to
No,
be
you've got qualified immunity. So here's the difference.
Yeah, maybe, but probably not for this, right? Because this isn't the first time that an encounter like this has occurred.
Well, if you trespassed me and done other things, you would have lost your qualified immunity, especially because I was telling you you were going to lose it.
Well, I might lose it on Monday if you come back, man.
Well, don't break the law. I'll pose my rights and
don't come in here and act a fool. This isn't the vehicle to get what you want accomplished.
It is.
Go talk to NDI.
I'm going to talk to them, but I'm going to keep doing this to the state because, like
Why?
I said, well, because what I've found with the state is not only NTA messed up and DMV messed up. I'm going around to all the different state agencies. I'm going to go
come to the highway patrol, man. You can find all sorts of stuff that's messed up there.
I will. Oh, I know. Like I said, I've been in business. My family's been in this town for a long, long, long time. You know, have you been in Nevada a long time?
Yeah, pretty much.
So you know how it works. We probably know people that know each other.
Yeah, maybe.
You go to the grocery store and you find people that know you just because you're here, except for the new California people.
Yeah, there's a lot of them.
There's a whole lot of them. But the people that have been in this town, we all know each other, right? Through someone else. We've all got contacts with each other. And my problem is, I'm seeing things that I don't think are right. I know about things inside. How else would I know who Stepian was sleeping with and why he got demoted or changed around?
So that happened before I came up here, so I can't confirm or
But how would a guy like me know this shit?
Right? You obviously know people.
So, I know people, and I still have problems. I don't think it's right, and I want to change the system. I don't want you to have qualified immunity. I want to change that law. I've already asked a couple legislators if we can work on a bill, a BDR for that. I think qualified immunity is a horrible thing. I think it takes away personal responsibility and accountability. And the other thing I don't like people like me coming in here where a human being violates another human being and my tax dollars pay the penalty. if I can get the BDR, I don't think this will get through because the lawyers will shoot it down. I don't think the state should be paying out damages. I think if you, just like if I screw up a car, who pays for that?
Your insurance.
No. It comes out of my pocket. You know how insurance works for all these companies you guys deal with?
No.
If there's a claim, say it's a $10,000 claim, my insurance premium is going to go up by $20,000 next year. I pay for it. On the other hand, if you do something, screw something up at work, guess who pays for it?
Everybody does.
The state does. You don't.
Yeah.
There's
the taxpayers.
For me,
it's not the state. The taxpayers.
Exactly. For me, if there's a loss, it comes right out of my pocket. If I screw up, it comes out of my pocket when I go to work. If you screw up at work, well, too bad. I don't think that's right. I don't think these multi-million-dollar judgments are right. Think of a guy like you screw something up, well, take 20% of his retirement or however much this is or whatever, but have accountability within government, because right now there is none. That's a problem. That's why government protects itself.
Yeah.
It makes two different classes of citizens. The government class. You guys have lifetime health care, lifetime this, lifetime that. You can go get 2 or 3 retirements. Got qualified immunity, people can't sue me if I screw up at work, somebody else will pay for it. Go in the private sector. You guys come into our businesses, come into our lives, come into our world, and the reason you show up is to take my money. You're not there to help me.
I don't want your money, man. That's not why I show
That's
up.
why the NTA, you know how the NTA, how they're funded. They get federal funds, they don't pull any money out of state general fund, but they're funded by fees and citations and penalties. That's how they get their funding. So the more citations they write, the bigger their budget gets. Isn't that kind of messed up?
I don't know if that's true. I know that's not how it works for us, so I don't know if it works like that.
You guys get federal highway funds, you get state funds, your money comes out of the general budget.
Yeah.
NTA doesn't. But you've got other state agencies, whether it's that one or some other ones have some funny funding things, where it's the more money that they can bring in through fines, the more money they get to spend. And again, I don't think that's right. So,
yeah.
how do you
in a
change
perfect world, it's not right.
No,
it shouldn't be like that. But we live in an imperfect world, man.
Yeah. But if nobody's out trying to change anything, does anything ever change?
No, I'm not. Listen,
I did.
I appreciate the fact that you want to try to make things better. That's not the right way to do it.
Whether it's here or DMV.
Why don't you go down to the NTA office and film in the lobby and call this guy out?
That lobby's like a cell.
So you think
ever been in there?
No.
There's not.
I've only been up here for a year, man.
There's not much. Where are you from?
Vegas.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's an interesting place.
Yeah.
I closed my Vegas operation a while ago. It was too many people down there that have a different view of the world.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to manage them anymore. So close it down, don't manage it, come up here. Or stay up here where I belong. The world's not a perfect place. I'm going to let you go. As soon as you guys are gone, I'll get out of here too. And hopefully you have a good night.
You too, man. Listen, don't take this the wrong way, but I hope I never see you again. This is not how you get it done.
I hope so too, and I hope the next time I see you, you can go up to him and go, he's conducting a constitutionally protected activity. Filming is not a crime for anybody. If he's in there doing jumping jacks or yelling across the room, you can get rid of him for that. But if the guy's just in the corner with a camera like this, you ask what business you have, again, go study this. The courts have said that this is business. Being the press is business. This is I can stand in the corner all day long if I'm filming.
Yeah. Okay. I mean,
so go check it out. First Amendment training would be a good thing for you guys.
If you got trespassed, and then you refuse to leave, and then we have to arrest you because you're being trespassed. It wouldn't be because you have a camera and you're doing some First Amendment audit. It's because you're causing a scene in there. You're disrupting the peace. When you are preventing other people who are there to do what this is for. This building wasn't made for you to come down here and stand on your soapbox about the wrongs that you've suffered from the government.
That's why I didn't say anything to anybody in there. That's why I said nothing.
So let me continue. Right. So when you're in there disrupting them, when you are filming other people's private information, when you are collecting information that you're not privy to, and they tell you to stop,
but here's the
and you don't,
here's the error in your
and
thought
then they
process.
ask you to leave, and you don't, then I come down here.
Here's the legal error in your thought process, and check with your attorneys too. You said I'm just standing there filming and it's disrupting.
I didn't say that you were standing there filming.
So if I'm just standing
and that's
there,
not what was alleged either, right? So
that's,
you know, maybe so if you go to jail, right, for trespassing, and they pull the camera, and what I was told didn't happen, and what you are saying right now is what happened, then the charges would be dismissed, of course.
Right. But then I'd still, I'd do other things at that point, because again, your body camera and my camera. Thank God for cameras. They protect all of us.
Yeah, they're way
So
better.
that's why I was very specific with you. What did I do? What law did I break? Because the only thing that I did in there, again, very careful to do this, is I walked around the exterior where everybody's sitting in a publicly accessible space.
Yeah.
Kept the camera next to me. Didn't make eye contact with anybody. Didn't try to engage with anybody. And when I came in, I was reading some posters. And these supervisors all come and engage me. All because of the camera. Now you go in there with your camera. Why don't they have issues with you guys and your camera? Why doesn't that make somebody? Because
I can't take this home and post it to YouTube.
No, but I can.
This goes to a secure server. So you could, right? You could do it for you, and I hope that you do,
I
right?
am going to.
But when that happens, let's say I'm in that office dealing with some other BS, right? And somebody does a request to get my body cam footage. All of the information that's on that screen, all of the information that's on that person's application, driver's license, credit cards, bank accounts, financial information, all of that stuff gets blurred out because you don't have a right to see it. And neither does anybody else.
So exactly, and you're part of the government, so the government has an obligation to protect that right, and they're doing it by blurring that stuff out.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
So they're doing the same thing, man. When they tell you don't film in there,
right? But
they're trying to protect those people's information, and you're not allowing them to do that.
But see, they've got an obligation to hide it, so I can't even get it because again, some guy goes and gets his brand new Ray-Bans with his cameras. Have you seen those yet? They're pretty cool.
No, I haven't.
Sunglasses, Ray-Bans with cameras.
That's not new. I mean, there have been cameras in the last
these you can't even tell they're
time,
cameras. But anyway, somebody's in there with his camera doing stuff nefarious, not like a guy with me out in the open. I'm going back to this again. That gal said she'd been here long time. How many times has somebody come in nefariously and gotten information? How often do you see identity theft as a crime?
So identity,
huge.
It happens, right? But here's the difference
But
and the
why.
similarities in your scenario.
Right?
You guys are both obtaining the same information. He's doing it covertly. Right. This guy that's got cameras right in his glasses, and nobody knows that a crime is being committed.
Exactly.
You're doing it overtly, and everybody knows that you're gathering their information.
But hang on,
hang
on, you just said a crime was being committed. But again, I'm going to go back to the government's obligation to protect private information. The government has the obligation to make that private and keep it private.
So can we agree then that you have exposed a weakness?
Yes,
right?
I have.
So you have the supervisors in there who aren't law enforcement.
No.
The supervisors recognize, hey, this shouldn't be occurring. This guy should not be able to see Mr. and Mrs. John Doe's information. That shouldn't be, that shouldn't happen. So they go, hey, sir, please, you can't film in here. This isn't allowed. By the way, she says that's in their policy. Maybe it should be posted on the door. I don't know. I'm not a building security guy.
But even if it's a policy, again, go look at the first minute. Even if it's a policy, even if it was a state law that says Drew can't film in there. Now, I wouldn't have done this on a Friday night. I might do it on a Monday morning. If you put a sign up there that says NRS, no filming in here, and I'm deciding because I've made the decision doing this, I know I risk going to jail. I told you that's never happened to me before. I've accepted that risk. I'm okay with that. But if you come and you arrest me for filming in a public place, you're taking an NRS and you're putting it up against the Constitution. Which one's going to win? Constitution.
You would think, right? You would think.
Well, that's because the courts have screwed things up.
Yeah.
But with the case law that's out there with recording already in public. Now go look at, I think it's Fordyce versus Seattle. That's the one I quoted. There's lots and lots of video recording cases across the country and in all of the federal courts. They're everywhere. And just about every single time, without exception, you can record it in a public space. The Fordyce versus Seattle, what that was, if I recall, that was when the WTO riots were going on. This guy was standing out there with his little camera just doing press, and he was recording all the riots. The Seattle police decided they didn't want him to record that stuff. Stopped him from recording, did their thing, and he sued. And the court said, you can't stop people from recording.
You're right. Like, we can't stop people from recording when we're out
Right.
in the public doing law enforcement stuff.
This is public.
Man, you would have, okay, well,
It's public funds. That's the problem. So what they have to do is they've got to make it private by appointment only, and shut it down for public access. Because right now it's public access. Anybody can go in there. So if somebody from Channel 2 would come in here and set up their camera, would you guys been called?
I mean, I don't know. Hopefully, so if Channel 2, I don't know. I'm not saying right, but let me just, hey, this is Jeremy talking to Drew, okay? Right, so if Channel 2 came in here while they were conducting business, during business hours, without prior approval, without their prior knowledge, and just came in and just started filming people, 100% those supervisors would be like, hey, take a hike.
Well, it would have happened differently than the cops being called. They would have called over to the station and done some other things.
You're right, because they would have tried to get them to leave. Right. But if they didn't leave, like you didn't leave,
and then they exercise their freedom of press.
Then we come down here. No, you don't. The freedom of press, the press don't have the right to go in and film like people's private information. That's not how it works.
So, again, the government. You're putting the obligation on me to keep other people's stuff private. You're putting the obligation on me to feel other people's feelings and know what they do and do not want.
Okay, so
you can't put that obligation.
So let me ask you a question. You have exposed this weakness, right?
Yes.
Let's say, for argument's sake, that you're right. You have the right to be in there and you can film whatever you want because it's a public building.
Right.
Right? Why don't we all just come down here and film everybody's stuff and steal everybody's stuff?
Why don't more people come down? Again, if the people that want to steal, they're not going to do it in the open. So that's number one. Number two, I'm not coming down here to steal. Number two, I'm coming down here to...
So when does the government's interest, right, in protecting somebody's private information become enforceable? When they physically put up barriers so that you can't see it? Or
yes,
when an employee says, hey, this isn't right.
There's more case law about that.
Take a hike.
Basically, what the courts have said is if you want privacy in public, you must make your own privacy. So, for example, you walk around like we go to your office, and I can walk into your lobby, right?
Yeah.
But there's a big sign on the door that says employees only be on this point.
Yep.
Now, if I go back there, I just broke the law.
Not necessarily.
If I go back there, you guys can arrest me or trespass me because I shouldn't have gone back there. But if I go into your lobby in your office and I've got business in your lobby, can you trespass me from your lobby?
No.
The same thing here. This is the same thing.
Okay, so then let me ask a follow-on question. If the government has identified a weakness, right, or a vulnerability in their responsibility to protect people's information, do they have to wait for another legislative session to secure funding, to secure additional people, to build a new building before they can say, okay, now our people's or those people's information is secure? Or can they just say, hey man, you can't do that in here?
I think you're asking a process question. So due process. So the legislature, your governor could call the legislature back into special session, or you have to wait till the next legislative cycle. Or the governor, I believe there's some appropriation powers that he's got. He can send some extra money somewhere. So in answer to your question, can the problem be fixed now? I believe it should. It costs, what's the screen thing cost? $10 to put one of those plastic screen things over their computers?
I don't know.
I mean, simple things like that are very inexpensive. As far as, they probably need to split people up here, because what I witnessed is people sitting right next to each other, saying each other's social security numbers. Now you get somebody with a photographic memory sitting in there, and a pair of their spy cameras, writing down these numbers, taking pictures. The state needs to make an enclosure, something to keep it private, something to keep it quiet. But right now you got people stacked right on top of each other. Never mind the guy with the camera.
Yeah.
Pay attention to the guy with the photographic memory, because they're out there.
So, I got to split, man. I would love to sit here and go back and forth.
Good conversation. I'm loving this, man.
So here's what I'm going to leave you with. I have a sneaky suspicion that you're going to come back here again.
I will.
And I have a suspicion that case law might get made. Because you know that what you're doing in there isn't right.
No,
you shouldn't be able to film other people's private information.
But I wasn't filming people's private information.
So if you weren't, then we go back to, hey, if the cameras show that you're just standing in the corner, just standing here with your camera and not doing a goddamn thing, right, then okay. But I have a hard time believing that when both supervisors said that multiple people in there expressed that you were being disruptive and that they asked you to leave because you were walking around with your camera filming other people's stuff. You know that's not right, man.
So let me ask you a question, though. Okay, so when you're at a scene, can you, as the state employee, put them in that spot too, can you either increase people's fears or decrease people's fears based on your actions when there's something going on? Can you escalate or de-escalate?
Yeah, absolutely.
You've got that power, right?
Oh, yeah.
So these supervisors in here, now as soon as I walked in, they all started talking to each other. And then they've got their clients around them. So now you've got a state employee with their clients around them. The state employee's getting agitated. Are there clients that need service getting agitated now because of me or because of these state employees being agitated? Like that guy that was right over there, he didn't really give a shit about anything. He was high as fuck on meth, I'm guessing.
Yeah, dude with the dog?
Yeah, he was a meth, that was my guess, just a meth head.
Yeah.
He didn't give a shit if I really, do these people, and I got compassion for them, that don't have any money, that have nothing, and I get shame. I've had a lot of shame in my life. Hopefully you haven't. Shame is a sucky emotion. It makes you feel like shit. Will these people feel some shame? Absolutely. Am I the one making them feel the shame? I'm not confronting them. I'm not the person at the cash register going, well, you've got this much money on your card and you need this much more extra money when they're paying for their stuff in line.
But I think it's implied that when you've got a phone and you're videoing,
I don't know their names. I don't know where they live. I don't care.
But do you? If you've got their information, that I'm assuming that records in 4K, and when you put it up on YouTube, you can watch it in 4K.
I wouldn't load 4K up because it takes too much time and effort. And
well, they don't know that.
Again, their feelings.
That goes back to disturbing the peace.
No, because again, recording, doing a constitutionally protected activity.
It's not your constitutionally protected right to obtain other people's information.
I'm not obtaining their information.
You are when you're walking around with a camera.
Actually, it is because you have no right to privacy in public. What right to privacy has the court given you to have in public?
You don't have it. So then we're going to have to argue about what is public when you're sitting down at a booth speaking with somebody.
Actually, the courts have ruled what is public, and even the post office has what's called a series. I think it's a Series 7 poster. Department of Homeland has another one, and it all describes what the public spaces are. So it's in at least federal law. I don't know if it's in Nevada. I haven't looked at that, but public entrance, public lobby, hallways, foyers, entryways, auditoriums, anything like that, parking lots, sidewalks, are all public spaces according to these federal documents. So, again, I walk into a public space, the lobby, through their public doorways, and you can hear everybody, whether it's just me again with a camera or somebody with nefarious intentions. All that I'm saying is the Constitution and the courts have given me a right to stand there with a camera, and they have said this is conducting business because I am gathering information to publish and disseminate to we the people. We the people, take your trooper shirt off, we the people have the right to hold our government accountable. We the people have a right to go to our government leaders and talk to them and tell them things are wrong. We have a right to go into government places, get FOIA requests, Freedom of Information Act, which was it, the Reno cop was telling me I had to go somewhere else. Anyways, I forget which one it was. It'll be in video.
I don't think you can do that here, right?
No, you can. It's state law and a federal law. There's a state statute for freedom of information and a federal statute. I've done a bunch of them. I just got a bunch.
So you can go into that building right there and file a FOIA.
Yes, I can find out. Well, because this is a totally different agency than DPS. This is a totally different agency than DMV. It's its own agency with its own oversight. So they've got their own payroll. They've got their own stuff.
Yeah, I understand.
So they've got their own.
This is a genuine question. I don't know if you can go in there and file a FOIA.
Oh, you can, yeah. There's no agency is exempt from FOIA.
Okay, you're misunderstanding.
Okay.
Right, so if somebody went down to the satellite office, and I'm going to go back to Vegas, the satellite office in Indian Springs, and said, I want to file a FOIA request, they would say, hey, you need to go to the HQ down in Vegas. I can't do that for you.
I don't know that.
Yeah, okay, that's what I'm asking. I don't know if they can do that here.
But at a minimum, a citizen has a constitutional right again to approach his government and ask them questions. And what I was denied today was that right to walk in there and file that paperwork or ask them for that paperwork or even just handwrite one.
So let me address that. How long were you here before we got here?
I got here about, you guys took a little while. I was here probably 4:15ish, maybe. I don't know. I didn't look at the time.
So why didn't you just walk right in and file that paperwork?
Because I wanted to walk around and read it. I've never been in here before. I didn't know what they did. And really, if they got cameras in there, pull the cameras up. I walked around and I looked at all the signs on the walls. There's a sign over here about child support. You got kids, you get divorced.
No.
You get that screwed up system?
Not yet.
Thank God. You're blessed. So I'm in here reading their signs, trying to discover what my tax dollars pay for.
Okay.
So again, nothing nefarious.
Right. So
you're just saying because these people are down on their luck, and they need money from the government. They need my tax dollars so that they can pay their bills. That I shouldn't be able to film it.
Yes and no.
See, I just got you to that one, didn't I?
No. So let me follow up. It's my tax dollars too.
Well, actually, your tax dollars, you get paid with tax dollars. So when you pay taxes,
myself.
you're paying.
Right.
It's you're kind of
it's
just
weird. It's like
you're just in a big circle jerk.
Yeah.
Not to be offensive, but paying taxes.
So
paying taxes on taxes.
Right. So I agree with most of what you've said. Where the line gets crossed is when you actively start to record people's information. And that's what they said you did.
Again,
I don't care if you're standing in the corner with a camera. Nobody gives a shit.
I will categorically.
But when you're walking, okay, that's fine.
So if that's where you're
stuck. If they're in there, like filing an application or obtaining benefits or whatever, and they're speaking with an employee here, and they're sitting in, a cubicle that's got sides, so that somebody can't peek over and take a look at their stuff, and you're walking around and you've got your camera and you're seeing all that stuff. You can't do that.
Oh, I agree 100%. We agree.
That's what's being alleged.
Oh, well, that's.
I wasn't here to see it. They file a complaint, and I tell you to kick rocks. And then when you don't, you're trespassing.
Who was it? In Connecticut, another auditor did one at a post office. It was very similar to this, what you're describing. And he got arrested, and there's a lawsuit now against him. He got arrested for being in the post office, and the postal employee said what he was doing was putting his camera over things and getting back out of the public accessible areas. And again, this is why it's a good thing to have a camera. Because he goes, I don't know why they made the lies because there's cameras. So they just lied to the police and filed a false police report that led to my false arrest. Mm-hmm. You see the legal problems here, don't you?
Yeah, but again, man, so what do you expect me to do, right? I've got one story from you and one story from somebody else.
Well,
I'm not the judge,
no,
right? But I have reasonable suspicion to contact you. And then if she tells me, hey, you're doing this, and this, and I'm willing to file a complaint, she becomes the complainant, right?
Cool. And then I'm going to say, does she have camera footage of me doing that?
She doesn't need it. I mean, she might need it in court, but I don't need it here
no,
now.
Not to take her complaint, you don't need it.
Yeah.
So to take her complaint, you don't need it, and you can say, hey, Drew, she said you did this. What did you do? And I'll tell you what I did. And then I'll give you my side, and then I'll probably file a complaint against her. It's tit for tat, and then you start playing the whole game, and then you've got a decision to make. You've got a guy here with a camera that's telling you, I've got it on camera what I did. I know exactly what I did.
Would you show me everything that you filmed? If I showed up and asked you, hey, let me watch the last 30 minutes of your footage.
No, I'd tell you exactly what it was, and if you chose to believe me and not make a mistake,
but
would
you let me watch it?
Once I was done filming it, and once I'd completed my...
Because you won't even tell me your last name, right?
Right now.
So the fact that you've got it recorded...
I'll tell you right before we leave.
Doesn't mean...
I'll tell you right before we leave, because I'm not trying to be difficult.
Because you're not going to show it to me. Well, I don't care if you've got a camera. I'm sure there's cameras
because
in
what
there.
I'm going to do is but here's what I'm saying is, you take her complaint, you hear my side of the story.
Hey, was that a call that we need to go to?
I believe so.
You better run it.
All right.
Was it? But at that point, then under the law, you have the authority to require that I ID myself. See, since I haven't broken any laws, there is no requirement for me to ID under the law until you have that reasonable, articulable suspicion. And then under Nevada law, I've got to give you my identification, right?
I mean, I'm pretty sure I'm at RAS the minute I show up, right?
No, because all you've got is a complaint. You've got a complaint of what? Did you witness anything?
No, I didn't.
So you've got a complaint. So you've got to go hear the complaint. So before you make any decisions on your job, because I mean your job is tough, man, I give it to you.
Yeah, so I think you would kind of misunderstand the difference between RAS and PC, right? If I walk in here and I'm told something by somebody that I deem as credible, it's reasonable for me to suspect you of committing a crime. Right? I just have to suspect you of a crime. And you don't have to actually have committed it, and I don't have to prove to you that you've committed it. I just have to be able to suspect it. And when I have two independent supervisors, both with pretty similar stories. Now, granted, they could have war-gamed all of this stuff 5 minutes before I got here and said, we're going to say this, 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 and this, so that trooper believes us. Could that happen? Maybe. Did it happen? Probably not. Right? But if I suspect, based on the information that I've been given and the totality of the circumstances of what's going on, I suspect that you've committed a crime. And RAS, right? RAS is very, very low.
Oh, I agree. That's
very low.
And
I think it's reasonable to say you might have committed a crime.
Well, you heard me when I told you about the complaint that I want to file, and I used the words seizing my papers. I didn't use probable cause, and I didn't use warrant. I said this person did not have reasonable articulable suspicion. And that's exactly what I asked him for in the video when I questioned him. And that's what was the question that I first asked you out here. What is your reasonable articulable suspicion of an NRS and an NAC
I don't have to tell you any of that,
Well,
right?
you don't have to tell me, but at that point, you're going to try to ID me, right?
Maybe.
And if you tried to ID me, here's where I would have gone. I would have said, under Nevada law, unless you've got a reasonable articulable suspicion, IDing is not a crime.
Yeah.
I can refuse to ID if you don't have that. And
but
again,
how do you know that I don't have that? I don't have to tell you if I have it or not.
What you have is I've got a video camera.
Weird. So do I.
Right. So I know exactly what I've done. Now, for you to have that reasonable articulable suspicion, you can take a complaint from somebody, but their complaint is not necessarily suspicion of a crime. It's saying he did something. Now you got to come to me and hear my side of it, right?
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you, sir, I've got a video camera. I categorically deny doing any of that, and I'm going to leave you in a position where you've got to do further investigation. So at that point, you've got a choice. You can arrest me for failing to ID at that point. Or I probably would have ID'd. What I would have done is I would have said, are you saying that if I do not ID, that you will arrest me? So this is under threat of arrest. That's the question I would have asked you, and you would have said yes or no. If you'd said yes, let me give you my ID.
We didn't get to that point, did we?
Well, no, we didn't. But
this is not my first rodeo.
And I'm not going to resist you in any way at all. That's not
good.
I'm not here to fight you. I'm not here to resist you. I'm here to verbally speak with you. I don't want to fight. That's the last thing I want to do in my life at this point in time. I'm a 54-year-old guy. I hurt. My bones hurt. My legs hurt. Stuff hurts after a while. Hopefully you're not there yet. But, you know, you age, stuff hurts. I don't want to fight nobody. I don't want to argue. I just want to fix the problem. The problem is unaccountable government.
Okay. Well,
so you have a good night. It's been good talking. If you want to shake hands, I'm up for that.
I don't touch anybody, and I tell everybody that. You can FOIA every one of my videos. Everybody that tries to shake my hand or give me the fist bump, I tell them the same thing. I don't touch anybody. If this was just Jeremy and Drew and I didn't have my uniform on, we would probably shake hands. But I don't touch anybody because I don't want to deal with that bullshit complaint about why'd you shake white guy's hand, but you didn't shake black guy's hand, or you didn't fist bump black women. You know that happens, right? Because you know people. So I just don't go there.
Doing whatever we all do in life, we all have these experiences where I go through the drive-thru at McDonald's and you're accused of being a fucking what? Anyways.
Yeah,
the racial tensions in this country are stupid.
I agree.
I don't understand them. Yeah, you probably don't either. It makes no sense to me other than what mainstream media and some elected officials have done to us.
The press. You're a member of the press, right? Claimed that many times.
No, I said
that's you,
MSM. I said member of the press, and I use the word press because that's in the Constitution. It also said mainstream media.
Kind of same thing.
No. People like me, individual people that are going out putting stuff online for people to see, real world interactions, instead of some talking head saying the bullshit and giving you a clip of a picture, and then that's now the reality.
What do you think's more damaging? Tucker Carlson or Joy Reid spewing their bullshit
I
on
think
5 o'clock news, right? Or somebody, some no-name Joe, walking in and recording people's private information put on YouTube.
Again, I didn't record any private information. See how I always deny that?
Well, it doesn't matter if you deny it to me, right?
It matters to me that I deny it to everybody because it didn't happen. So if it's spoken, then there's a whole other issue of law, libelous. But that's a whole different thing. Do I think any of them are good? I don't watch any of them.
I mean, neither.
If news comes up on my social media stuff, from any of that stuff, ABC, NBC, CNN, Fox, whatever, delete that shit. Get it off. I don't need it because it's just half-truths and lies and designed to piss you off and make you mad.
I agree.
Now, should people be pissed off because you can go into DMV and see their personal information and you can go into this state agency and see their personal information? Should people be pissed off about that?
That's debatable. Yeah.
I'd probably be more pissed off about this than some guy in Ukraine that's tossing rockets back and forth.
Yeah.
Because this is real world in our community that we need to fix.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So like I said, my goal is to fix this. I highlighted it. I highlighted it at DMV the other day because DMV can walk in there and see their computers perfect. It's great. Go check it out.
I won't, man, because I don't want to be this guy. I don't want to be you, Drew.
Well, I'm good with that.
I don't mean that offensively, but I don't want to be that guy.
No, you chose to do the trooper thing. I wouldn't want your job right now. Your job is a tough job. People like me that have been supporters of law enforcement, that are active in the community, that do things. My attitude has changed. I don't support the police like I used to. I don't believe the stories like I used to. You're talking to a guy whose father-in-law is a retired sergeant. My uncle worked for CHP till he retired. I know a lot of them. You're in a bad position in life where cops are killing people sitting on their necks in cars, the Floyd thing. You're in a position where you're dealing with guys like that meth head that left, that those guys you don't want to fight with because they're nuts. So you got people like that you got to fight with sometimes, and then you hurt them, and then you get in trouble trying to protect other people. I mean, you guys got a tough job.
So I'm going to throw one more in there. People that do what you are doing are just as dangerous as those other individuals, right? You many times threatened to file a federal lawsuit against me.
Oh, I would, because
you could take my job, you could take not my life physically, right, but you could ruin me financially if I screw up. Right?
So on that,
so you are dangerous.
So on that note, I would be a danger to you, but you chose the job. But let me ask you a question. Today in your job, how many people have you helped so when they go home tonight, their life is better, versus how many people have you written a citation to that now have to deal with paying a fee?
I challenge you to do this.
Paying their higher insurance.
FOIAs, right? I challenge you to FOIA my activity, Trooper Ty 238, and you go look at how many citations I write, because you and I think, are very similar. And my supervisors don't really like me because I don't take a lot of enforcement action.
Good.
I would much rather help and educate people instead of punish people.
Then we're the same.
But sometimes I got to come down here and deal with this BS.
Then we're the same.
Your BS.
Well, it's not my BS. It's. See, if you knew what a First Amendment audit was and how they worked, and you knew all the case law, would you be here, or would you just come in and say,
I don't know,
hey?
because I'll be honest, I don't know all the cases.
See, so if I can educate
police
you,
officers are now police officers, social workers, teachers, medical professors.
Like I said.
Like, I have to. There's so much stuff that not me personally, but cops in general have to know. We can't know it all. And highway patrol troopers, right? Like, we don't deal with this stuff.
No, you guys got a tough job.
But like, it would just be nice if, hey, you're an upstanding citizen, you're trying to fix a
I'm an
wrong.
upstanding citizen that's been abused by the government, which is how you got me out here.
I believe you, okay? I believe you. But if you're that guy, and you get 2 cops here that say, hey man, can you leave? And you don't want to leave, and then 2 more cops show up, and you still don't want to leave, like, at that point, who is winning?
Ultimately, what was discovered tonight, though, but especially with the sergeant, was that what I was doing was not illegal.
That's not what was said.
Well, I'll probably find out. And I want you to find that out. So my thing is, go and research what I'm telling you. make it so a guy like me can't say, hey, you're violating my constitutional rights under the color of law, and you risk a potential lawsuit. Because hopefully that makes you stand back and go, okay, what are the rules here? Make sure we're on good ground, make sure we got good process. Hopefully, because my intention is not to threaten you with that. My intention is, let's think of, just like when I told you, if you give me an order, I'm going to question your order to find out where the lawfulness of it is, and then I'm going to say, is that under threat of arrest? And depending on how you answer, because I don't want to get arrested. If you tell me you're going to arrest me, I'm going to turn around, spread it, whatever you tell me to do, I've got to do it. I'm not going to disobey it. You say that, I'm down. But would that possibly cause me to come back and file complaints? Because then you've infringed on my freedom. Like right now, this is a consensual encounter, and I'm having a good time, thank you. But once you start infringing on those rights, your Fourth Amendment rights, your Fifth Amendment rights, your First Amendment, second, Washoe County did that a while ago, not to me, but somebody else. But once you start infringing on those rights, that's where the danger and the liability in your job comes in. So that's why I was asking you guys, what's the Third Amendment of the Constitution? Because to me,
it's a good question.
Because to
me,
but
it's irrelevant to what's going on right now.
Oh, right this second. Actually, It's not irrelevant, because if you understand the Constitution, all the stuff that's in it that you swore to uphold, we probably wouldn't even have the conversation. We wouldn't be wasting your time.
It's debatable, man.
Well, no, because we would have the conversation if I was breaking the law, right? But if I wasn't breaking any law, you as a law enforcement guy would go, well, I'm not the feelings enforcer here today, so I can't define a statute or a code that you're violating. Okay, I'll see you later.
Okay.
Is that true, or?
No, it's true.
So I mean, that's how I look at it, and that's why I'm very clear. What law am I breaking? Tell me, because I don't want to break them. I really don't.
Well, right now you're not breaking it.
Not at all.
And you haven't been trespassed today,
No.
so you didn't break a law. That doesn't mean that what you are doing is right, and that you can't be considered to be breaking the law in the future.
But right and wrong in the law, ethics, morals in the law, don't mean anything compared to the black and white of the words and the actions that you can attribute to them or not attribute to them once you go to court in front of that judge.
I agree 100%.
So,
I'm not the feelings police.
Exactly.
Right? I will sit here and tell you right now that I don't agree with what you're doing.
Yeah.
That it's wrong.
That's your feeling.
Right?
Yeah.
It's wrong. It's my feeling, and I think the general public would agree with me that you shouldn't be in there filming people that are doing, what they're doing in here.
Well,
that you shouldn't have access, don't interrupt me, that you shouldn't be able to film people while they are in these situations with their private information being evaluated by a government employee on whether or not they can get assistance, okay? I don't agree with that, and I don't think many other people would either. But you're right, feelings don't matter. But when a government employee who is in charge of this building tells you, you can't do this, you're recording people's private information, and you continue to do it, at that point, I would argue that we are at the point where there's laws being broken and you can be trespassed.
Well, that would be, we'd have to see what the exact, again, I didn't steal any, or take any ID or get any ID or even get close enough to people unless they were talking too loud and got the microphone. So I was mostly talking to the one gal in there. But again, I'm going to go to the privacy in public, no expectation of privacy in public.
I know, you've got your argument and I've got mine, and guess what?
And then
eventually we're going to put it in front of a judge. That's what's going to happen. And maybe we make case law. It wouldn't be the first time.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe we make case law. And maybe I get in trouble and maybe you get thrown in prison, man.
Yeah.
But is it really worth it for you to come down here because you're mad at a taxi cop because he took your stuff? Go to NDI and get in their ass about doing what they should be doing for you.
My perception of what will happen with NDI is exactly what's happened with auto return.
I don't know the auto return story.
It's a whole other thing. That's a long story. Yeah, I don't need to get into it anymore. It's a long story. But my issue in dealing with government and all the years I've been running a business, building a business, doing what I do, is there's a lot of problems in government. There's a lot of corruption. There's a lot of cover-up, and government does not hold itself accountable.
I agree 100%.
And I want to fix it. And this is
you've got a long battle to fight, man. This is probably not the right way to do it.
This is one way. And like I said, I've already talked to some assembly people and some senators that I think are going to be up in the next session, and hopefully we can get a BDR and fix some things and make more government accountability. That's what my
That's
goal
the
is.
right way, right?
Well, that's the right way, but this way also does other things, because how do you get people on the ground to vote or do things or make noise unless they know about it?
Yeah, you don't.
You publish it.
So let me ask you a question. What if, or why didn't you just go in there and like take a photo and say, hey guys, I'm standing in the welfare office in Reno right now. This is what it looks like. And then look at all of the security vulnerabilities. Look at how the government is neglecting their job to protect your information when you come in and apply for assistance.
Okay.
Could you just do that next time?
So instead, well, how long would you say I should have to stay in there to do that? Because I was only in there a little bit.
A photo only takes about 3 seconds.
Right, but all that I did was walk around there, looked at things in the wall, and they immediately engaged me, so I didn't even have time to do
So maybe they are being diligent in their responsibility to protect people's information, right?
Except they don't.
And they just don't have the funding or the ability to. They didn't build this building, right?
Again,
those ladies didn't design this building.
Again, not my problem.
I agree.
Again, the state problem, the state has to fix, and from what I'm hearing, in 15 years it hasn't been fixed.
I don't know how long it's building.
I'm just telling you what the gal told me.
Maybe when the building was built, though, this was more than sufficient for the times. But people weren't walking around filming everything.
Regardless, it's not now.
You're right.
And regardless, the state of Nevada needs to take measures to fix the problem.
So do you think that in the future you could get your point across just as effectively without intruding on other people's lives?
I didn't intrude on anybody's life.
Well, you didn't intrude on mine, right? But those two ladies are claiming that you intruded on other people's lives.
So you're going back to their story like you're believing their story as opposed to going
I do believe their story.
What I told you, which is I didn't get any of that on my
But you won't show me your camera to let me know that.
Well, you can go look at it, because I'm going to tell you where to go look, and you can look at some of the audits that I've already done.
What's your YouTube address?
You don't even got to write it down.
I won't remember it.
Auditing Reno 911. You'll remember Reno 911, won't you?
You want to know something? I've never watched that show.
I rarely watched it either. I just used it because I thought it was a good tagline. And people would
Never watched it. I try not to watch cop stuff. Auditing Reno 911 YouTube.
And eventually this one will...
Are you going to post the whole video?
I'll probably edit it down. It's long.
Yeah. So here's my experience with people that do stuff like you. Because I've been on YouTube before too. Surprisingly, I worked for the feds for several years. So I was down at the Fed courthouse in Vegas, when all that Bundy stuff was going on. I've been filmed before. I've been on YouTube before.
Yeah, but see, Bundy's a protester too.
Hey man, free Todd Engel. He's a good man, right? Remember that protest? Yeah. So, here's what I found. That people like you, right, will cherry pick. They will cut and edit videos out with the express intention of making cops look like idiots.
That's not what
you 100% have the ability to do that because our interactions back there, you could make me look dumb, right?
I will put those up. I'll put the good stuff up and the bad stuff.
I hope that you just post the entire video. Don't edit any of it. Let the public see what really happened here.
The parts that I try to edit out, like I walked all the way around this building, looked at everything, tried to see if there were any state vehicles, did all that stuff. That's just boring. So I'll either speed it up or clip that out. Interactions with human beings, I try to post all that stuff as much as I can. Because I don't want to hide it. I want them to see me and you answering the questions, coming to some kind of agreement, understanding. Like I said, education is really what I'm trying to do here. Did I do what I wanted to do? If you go home tonight and read the Constitution, look at the stuff and go, hey, that man might have a point here. And the next time you come out on one of these, you're going, well, I've read about this stuff before, and there's this, and there's this, and there's that, and I probably shouldn't do this. And then you, instead of coming to me, could have been standing here educating the gals that work here and say, hey, he's exercising a right. He's got a right to be in the building. We're opening ourselves up to liability if we infringe on his rights. And then you tell her what I can't do so she can look at that specifically. Because I don't want assholes to come in here pointing cameras and shit and doing all this other shit. I don't want bad things to happen to people. So then you can tell her if people are putting their cameras over screens, doing things, if they're doing anything other than filming or having a civil conversation with somebody where somebody else engaged them. My rule for doing this is I do not engage. Everybody engages me first. That way I'm not interrupting your world, interrupting your business, and you came to me, oh, cool, I can respond now. But I never engage doing this job. Let them engage me, and then try to educate. And if you call that supervisor gal, the one with longer hair, if you ask her what I tried to do with her, I told her the same thing. I'm trying to educate you, inform you, and let you know what I'm doing.
Okay.
And if I can do that, it's a good thing.
So you have many times questioned my knowledge of NRS and the Constitution, right? So if I don't know everything, how much do you think that lady is going to know? Nothing,
That's
right?
the problem.
She doesn't need to know.
Now we're getting into a whole other problem in our education system.
Yeah, right. So here I've got to go, man. We've been out here for like 2 hours. So the first half, right? Like, I don't want to do that stuff. The second half, this conversation, I've really enjoyed talking with you. You have by far been the most polite and respectful and articulate individual in these scenarios that I have encountered.
Good.
So thank you.
That's my effort, because I am not your normal. I've grown a big business. I've had a big business. I've operated across this entire state. The director of the DMV knows who I am. J.D. Decker knows who your chief might. I don't know. You guys change chiefs every year, so I can't even keep track of your chiefs.
It's weird how that works, huh?
No, because they get in and they want their retirement and they're gone. So I mean, dealing with your chiefs is. When I've dealt with, like I told you, I know Plowman. I've dealt with him, and I've found him to be very fair, very straight. I like him. I haven't caught him lying yet.
I don't know him really, so.
He does commercial vehicle stuff. I think it's part of.
I know who he is. I just don't have any interaction with him because he's not my.
He's not your boss.
Yeah.
So you don't got to deal with him. But so I mean, I know those people, and my family's been here for decades and decades and generations. So we know, we just know people. And I don't want to have bad confrontations with anybody. Did I even try to have a bad confrontation with the meth head?
No.
I knew exactly what he was, but
you can go with that, man. I'll be with you in like 2
anyways,
minutes.
let's let you guys go.
Okay, so here's what I want to leave you with, man. Here's what I want to leave you with. I sympathize with what you have told me, and I believe that you have a genuine grievance against the state of Nevada, right? The transportation.
If you go look at my videos, that's the first one I posted.
Okay,
that's
so
the one.
I'm sorry that that's happened to you, and I'm gonna say this, I'll get in trouble. There are bad police officers, 100%.
I appreciate that.
Nobody hates a bad cop more than me, or the good cops. There are way more good cops out there than there are bad cops. Maybe you've had just a string of luck where you've talked to somebody that doesn't want to hold their partner accountable, and that's unfortunate, and that shouldn't happen. All right, so I'm sorry. You should go to NDI. That's my recommendation. Go to NDI, that is their job, and file a complaint. And then if that doesn't work out, then hire an attorney and sue the state for as much as you possibly can.
Oh, I've
okay, but
see, here's where I'm at.
This shouldn't happen, man.
Like I said, I'm a business, so I'm in the tow. I've got attorneys. I've already got that. I've already shown my attorney this, and he goes, well, tell me when you want me to go after it. And I said, I don't want to go after. My goal is not to get money.
Well, you should. That's the only thing that people care about, money.
No, I care about changing the system.
Yeah, but you're not going to change the system until you ding the state for $15 million.
I got morals and ethics, and that's
okay,
kind of,
well,
I'm against.
I mean, you've got good ethics and morals, but then you've got bad ones too, man. Like, stop messing with these people.
I always mess with people. Don't we all have good ethics and morals and bad ethics?
Some people just have bad ones.
I try not to.
All right. Have a good day, Drew. I hope I never see you again.
You probably will. But it's right on the field or somewhere else.
All right.